The teasers dropped, the fandom went silent. In an instant, the entire K-pop world was turned upside down.
Oh, completely upside down.
A shadow operation, tens of millions of dollars on the line, and the golden matinee of the world's biggest boy band caught directly in the crosshairs. He stole from Jungkook. Now he's going to jail for 20 years.
Still gives me chills just hearing that out loud.
Right. Welcome to StarScope K-Report. Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates.
From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
Yeah, and today's deep dive is, well, it's unlike anything we've covered before.
Honestly, seeing those words strung together, Jungkook, hacked, and millions, it's the kind of headline that just completely stops your heart.
Yeah, it really does.
The internet essentially froze when this broke. I mean, as stans, we're so conditioned to expect K-pop controversies to be like dating rumors or agency contract disputes, or maybe a music video being banned from broadcast.
Right, the usual industry drop.
Exactly. But a highly sophisticated international cyber heist targeting the golden matinee, that is a completely different level of threat.
It really is. And we were unpacking the mechanics of that threat today.
Sure.
So on August 20th, 2026, the Seoul Central District Court handed down a sentence that sent absolute shockwaves through both the tech and entertainment sectors.
Oh, massive shockwaves.
Yeah. A 37-year-old Chinese national, identified in court documents by the surname Jeon, or Chun, depending on the translation, was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
20 years. I mean, that is a huge sentence for a white-collar crime.
Well, because he wasn't convicted of a simple phishing scam. He was running this massive cybercrime ring that successfully stole 38 billion won.
Which is what, roughly $27.4 million?
Exactly. Almost 30 million US dollars.
The scale of the operation is just staggering. They didn't cast a wide net hoping to catch, everyday users. They used a highly targeted spear phishing approach aimed exclusively at South Korea's elite. But what set the international fandom on fire, and what makes this a massive story for the Hallyu wave, is that their crown jewel target was BTS's Jungkook.
Yeah. And the timing of this attack was incredibly deliberate. Let's look at that timing, because it is literally the linchpin of their entire strategy.
Absolutely.
The hacking ring was active between August 2023 and January 2025, right?
Yeah.
And BTS as a group began fulfilling their mandatory military service around late 2022.
Yeah, Jin went first.
Right, and Jungkook officially enlisted at the end of 2023, and he didn't finish his service until June 2025.
So they struck right in the middle of that window.
Exactly. They knew he was off the grid.
And according to the Korea Herald and the Jumgang Daily, they didn't just try to drain like a standard checking account either. The target was his securities account.
His stock portfolio.
Right. They attempted to steal 8.4 billion won, so roughly $6 million worth of his HYBE shares.
Which is crazy.
The sheer audacity to go after the parent company shares of BigHit Music directly from the artist's personal portfolio is wild to think about.
It really is. But it brings up a massive technical question. Like, how on earth do you steal shares instead of cash? And why would you even try?
Right, because liquid cash seems so much easier to just take and run.
Exactly. If I'm a cybercriminal, I want cash. But moving $6 million in cold, hard cash out of a bank instantly triggers massive money laundering flags.
Oh, totally. The automated freezes would kick in immediately. Banks are built to catch that.
Exactly. But transferring stocks or executing a series of rapid trades within a securities account to an automated banking system, that just looks like standard wealth management for a high net worth individual.
Wow. So it buys the hackers time.
It buys them a ton of time. And time is exactly what they needed to bypass the security. Because a global superstar at that level, they have layers of protection.
Oh, yeah. Biometric locks, multi-factor authentication, entire teams monitoring their data.
Right. And the hackers didn't even try to brute force a password or break through a firewall. They bypassed the digital locks entirely by targeting the physical infrastructure of the telecom industry.
This is the part that blows my mind.
It's terrifying. They used stolen personal identities to open quote-unquote budget phone lines under the victims' names.
Okay, I want to break down how this actually functions because this is the terrifying aha moment of the whole case.
Yeah, let's get into it.
In South Korea, just like in many parts of the world, your mobile phone number is basically your digital passport.
Right.
It's the ultimate verifying factor for your banking app, your crypto wallet, your stock trading platform. And the telecom industry offers these low-cost mobile carriers, often called MVNOs.
Oh, right. The ones that are incredibly easy to set up online without having to walk into a physical store.
Exactly. You don't have to show your face. You just punch in the stolen resident registration numbers, and suddenly the telecom network thinks this brand new, cheap SIM card belongs to the victim.
And the network just authenticates it.
Yeah.
And the moment that happens, the victim's actual phone loses service, right?
Yeah.
The digital identity is just transferred.
Transferred instantly. So when the hacker goes to the banking app and clicks forgot password, the multi-factor authentication code doesn't go to the superstar's real phone.
Oh, man. It goes straight to the hacker's budget phone.
Exactly. The digital fortress is completely circumvented.
That is genuinely terrifying. But here is where HYBE's infrastructure actually saved the day.
Thank goodness for BigHit's IT department.
Seriously. BigHit Music released an official statement confirming the breach attempt. They stated, quote, "The company and artists immediately implemented payment suspension and restoration measures upon detecting the crime, preventing actual damage."
So even though the hacker intercepted the authentication codes, the agency had automated security measures specifically monitoring large-scale transfers of company stock.
Right. The moment that 8.4 billion won transfer was initiated, the system flagged it as anomalous, paused the transaction, and locked it down.
Incredible. So Jungkook lost zero money.
Not a single cent. But wait till you hear what netizens uncovered about the other victims who weren't so lucky.
Yeah, the collateral damage is so much darker than anyone initially realized.
Real quick, though.
Oh, yeah. If you love staying updated on your favorites, make sure you're subscribed to StarScope K-Report because we've got even bigger scoops ahead.
Awesome. So when we pull back and look at the broader operations of this hacking ring, the picture gets incredibly grim.
Like beyond just Kpop.
Yeah. From August 2023 to January 2025, they didn't just target idols. According to financial reporting from Bong Insight and Fanstar, 16 individuals suffered actual irreversible financial damage.
16 people.
Yeah, and the 39 billion one we mentioned earlier, that was successfully stolen money from those victims.
Unbelievable. And the victim profile reveals this really chilling methodology. It was 9 conglomerate chairmen and startup CEOs.
Wow.
3 top-tier entertainers and influencers, and several major athletes. I mean, these are heavily resourced individuals who usually have private wealth managers.
Right, which makes you wonder. I was looking at this list of victims and trying to figure out how 16 different highly connected people all fell for the exact same budget phone exploit without noticing their cell service dropping.
Because you would notice, right, if your phone said no service, you'd fix it.
Exactly. But then the pattern emerged. The hackers specifically targeted wealthy individuals who were completely cut off from the outside world.
Right.
They went after people serving in the military like Jungkook, or corporate executives who are currently serving time in prison for white-collar crimes.
The vulnerability pattern is pure predatory brilliance. I mean, if you are a civilian walking down the street and someone ports your phone number to a budget carrier, like we said, your phone instantly says no service.
You'd walk into a phone store that afternoon and fix it.
Exactly. But if you are in the middle of basic training in the military, or if you are serving a prison sentence, your phone is sitting powered off in a locker somewhere.
It's like a digital home invasion while the owners are locked in a soundproof room.
That is the perfect analogy. You are lunked in a soundproof room while your digital house is being robbed.
You can't see the text alerts. You can't call your bank to dispute the charges.
You are essentially paralyzed while a stranger drains your life savings.
And the fandom understood exactly how helpless that situation is. The reaction from Knets and international stands was absolutely deafening.
Oh, it was a mess. If you look at the Fanstar community boards when the story broke, it was this chaotic mix of pure outrage and immense relief.
I could imagine.
You had users like LisaMe26 commenting, quote, "Oh hell nah, how dare he and why," with the angry red face emoji.
Naturally.
The protective instinct of the fandom flared up instantly, like, do not touch our maknae.
But then once the official confirmation came out that BigHit's automated security blocked the theft, the tone completely shifted, right?
Oh, totally. The boards were just flooded with purple hearts. Users like Charisma92 and Maria12345678 were posting King Bangtan and BTS paved the way.
As they always do.
Exactly. Army goes incredibly hard to protect their bias, but in this scenario, they couldn't do anything physically to stop it. So the relief that the agency's defense systems held the line was just palpable.
It's amazing that the tech held up, and the justice system recognized the unique cruelty of targeting isolated individuals too.
Yeah, they didn't take this lightly.
Not at all. When Judge Park Jun-seek handed down the 20-year sentence, he drew a very sharp legal distinction. Quoting his statement from the Korea Herald, he said, "Unlike victims of typical voice phishing schemes, the victims in this case lost their assets while defenseless and through zero fault of their own."
Which is such an important point. In a standard phishing scam, there is usually an element of human error.
Like clicking a bad link.
Right. A victim accidentally clicks a malicious link in an email, or they get socially engineered into handing over a password over the phone. But in this case, the victims did absolutely nothing wrong.
Nothing.
They didn't click a bad link. Their entire digital identity was hijacked out of thin air simply because their mandatory national service made them unreachable.
It's wild. And the authorities went to extreme lengths to dismantle this ring. The 39 billion won successfully stolen was bad enough, but they estimated a total of 64 billion won was targeted when you include the prevented thefts like Jungkook's.
That's just astronomical.
So the South Korean National Police Agency and the Ministry of Justice collaborated with Interpol, and they eventually tracked the mastermind to Thailand.
Oh, wow. They hunted him down.
They did. They successfully extradited him to Incheon International Airport in August of 2025.
And didn't he try to blame someone else during the trial?
Oh, yeah. He tried to deflect blame in court, pointing the finger at this supposed shadow boss named Han Sung.
Han Sung.
Yeah, but prosecutors dismantled that defense so fast, they couldn't find a single digital footprint, financial trace, or shred of identity for this Han Sung character.
He just made him up.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The court dismissed the claim entirely, highlighting the defendant's complete lack of remorse.
Well, later in this episode, we'll talk about a shocking historical plot twist between Chinese authorities and BTS that adds a massive layer of tension to this whole story.
Yes, and we need to get into that right now, because when you look at the geographic origins of this hacking ring, it taps into a pre-existing, highly sensitive digital Cold War.
A Cold War that you simply cannot ignore if you follow the Hallyu wave.
Now, I want to be absolutely clear right off the top.
Right.
We are absolutely not taking a political side here, and there's no evidence whatsoever linking this specific hacking ring to the Chinese government.
Right. This was an independent criminal enterprise focused on financial theft.
Exactly. But the fact that this hacker was a Chinese national operating out of Thailand brings up a very complex, fraught history between China and South Korea's entertainment exports. We are just strictly looking at the context reported by our sources.
Right. We are looking at the digital ecosystem this crime occurred in, because a report from Breitbart outlines an intense history of friction between BTS and Chinese state authorities that flared up massively in 2020.
Yeah, that friction started with the James A. Van Fleet Award.
I remember this.
Yeah, in 2020, the Korea Society gave this award to BTS for their contributions to U.S.-Korea relations. And during the acceptance speech, RM, the group's leader, made a very reflective statement about the Korean War.
A very standard speech, honestly.
Right. He said, "We will always remember the history of pain that our two nations shared together and the sacrifices of countless men and women," referring to the alliance between South Korea and the United States.
Which historically is a factual acknowledgement of the military alliance during that specific conflict. But it sparked immediate, massive outrage among Chinese authorities.
Because China fought on the opposing side, supporting North Korea during that war.
Exactly. And the backlash from Chinese state media was swift and it was severe.
They mobilized a massive campaign against the group. By 2021, the state-controlled social media platforms in China were actively shutting down the largest BTS fan accounts.
Just permanently silencing massive hubs of the fandom. And the official reasoning given was that these fan accounts were, quote-unquote, toxic to the social atmosphere.
Which is wild censorship. But the strategy wasn't just censorship, though. They actively attempted to engineer a cultural replacement.
Oh, this is the Chiwang 2021 story.
Yes. Chinese authorities launched a television competition show called Shuang 2021. The explicit goal of the broadcast was to manufacture a Chinese boy band that could rival the global dominance of BTS.
And the mechanics of how that show played out actually tell us so much about the uncontrollable nature of digital fandoms.
So much. Because Shuang 2021 became an international sensation, but for entirely the wrong reasons.
It was completely hijacked by the viewers. I love this story so much.
Tell it, it's so good.
Okay, so the stand-up star of the show wasn't a prodigy vocalist or some master dancer. It was this Russian guy named Vladislav Ivanov who used the stage name Lelouch.
Lelouch.
Yeah, and he was originally hired just to be a translator for other contestants, but the producers convinced him to sign a contract and join the cast just to fill an open slot
Which he regretted instantly.
Instantly. He realized immediately he had made a terrible mistake. He had zero interest in being an idol. He didn't want to sing. And he actively tried to be terrible during his performances so the audience would just eliminate him and he could go home.
And that is exactly why the audience became obsessed with him.
Exactly. I mean, in an industry defined by intense perfectionism and grueling effort, here was a guy standing on stage, looking absolutely miserable, giving zero effort, practically begging to go home.
And the viewers found it incredibly relatable and hilarious.
They loved it. So they weaponized the show's voting app. Millions of fans organized this digital mobilization to vote for him, effectively holding him hostage on the show week after week as a massive joke.
He just couldn't escape. It's a fascinating parallel, honestly. We just talked about an organized cybercrime ring manipulating digital telecom systems to steal millions. And here, you have an organized digital fandom manipulating a broadcast voting system just to keep a miserable translator trapped on a stage.
It really proves how powerful coordinated digital crowds can be.
It really does. The show did eventually form a group called INTO1, though Lelouch thankfully escaped before the final cut. The poor guy.
Finally free, though the group ultimately disbanded in 2023 anyway.
Yeah. But pulling this back to the cyber heist, that 2020 tension set a precedent.
It did. The biggest K-pop group in the world has operated with a target on their back in the digital space for years.
Whether it's state-sponsored censorship or independent financial hackers, the threat environment is constant.
Yeah.
It forces K-pop agencies to basically operate like cybersecurity defense contractors.
And the South Korean government is forcing that evolution through strict legislation.
Which brings us to the law that put this hacker away for 2 decades. The Personal Information Protection Act, or PIPA.
PITA is no joke. When you look at the mechanics of this law, South Korea essentially made it too expensive for agencies not to care about data security.
Right, because the digital presence of these artists and their fans represents billions of dollars to the South Korean economy. The Hallyu is treated like critical national infrastructure, and PIPA reflects that reality.
Totally. Under Article 34(2) of PIPA, if a personal information controller, which includes telecom companies, banks, and entertainment agencies like HYBE, fails to encrypt and protect personal data, they face massive penalty surcharges.
Huge fines. We are talking up to 500 million won.
That is the economic deterrent driving everything. If HYBE had been careless with Jungkook's resident registration number, or if they hadn't invested in the automated systems that froze that multi-million-dollar stock transfer.
The agency itself would have been held legally liable under PIPA.
Exactly. The law shifts the burden. It forces the corporations to be the absolute first line of defense, because if they fail, the financial penalties are catastrophic.
And the law also takes a sledgehammer to the actual criminals.
Oh, yeah.
Article 24(2) strictly limits anyone from processing resident registration numbers without explicit authorization. And Article 70 of the Act establishes that merely tampering with public institution data to cause paralysis carries up to a 10-year sentence on its own.
So when the prosecution combined the massive fraud, the sheer scale of the identity theft, the financial damage, and the violation of the Information and Communications Network Act, the judge just threw the absolute book at him.
A 20-year sentence for a cybercrime is a monumental, historic warning shot.
It really is. South Korea is broadcasting a very clear message. If you try to leverage the identities of our cultural exports or our business leaders, you will lose the rest of your adult life in a prison cell.
Period. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a KT update or legal breakdown like this one.
Seriously, subscribe. Because the reality of this case proves that the nature of cybercrime has fundamentally shifted.
It has. Passwords and firewalls are no longer the ultimate security barrier.
Right. If attackers can obtain just enough personal information to impersonate you to your mobile carrier, none of your passwords matter. They just bypass the authentication entirely.
Which leads us with a terrifying realization to end on today.
What's that?
Well, we spent this entire deep dive talking about entertainment agencies building digital fortresses and cyber criminals hunting for vulnerabilities. But the real weak link here was the telecom industry.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
If our entire digital existence, our bank accounts, our stock portfolios, our exclusive fan club apps is locked behind a phone number, and a hacker can steal that number just by tricking a budget mobile provider with a stolen ID.
Oh, man.
Maybe the global K-pop agencies aren't the ones who need to upgrade their security. Maybe the biggest threat to the global digital economy of K-pop is the very phone in your pocket.
That is a terrifying thought. It definitely makes you rethink every single time a random app asks to verify your mobile number.
You've been listening to StarScope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.